What's up, y'all? Welcome to ETC Everything Cannabis. Vibing out to some Kendrick. We back? I'm back? Okay. What's up, y'all? ETC Everything Cannabis. Sending invites. Please do send the invites. Y'all can hear me, right? Oh! Let me see. See if I can get Ben in here. So yeah, we got Ben coming. Ben familiar. Y'all, this is a trip. What's up, Ben? You gotta come with me. All right, y'all. Technical difficulties, but that's okay because we're gonna keep going. This sign gonna stay up. That's what it's gonna do. Y'all ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey, there he is. Can you hear? Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. What's up, Ben?
What's going on?
What's going on? Thank you for being here.
Wide world of weed. What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah, you got everybody, all you people in here. What's up, Jay? See Jamal. Well, welcome to ETC Everything Cannabis. I paid a little Kendrick Lamar to get us started. So, I just want to tell everybody this is Ben Familiar. He is a GanjaPreneur, a guru in this industry, and it's very nice to come across you. Came across you, Jamal. Showed me the Kush Rush reel, and so that right there was like, I was like, yo, that was like it was like a Netflix series already, you know. A lot of stuff you was going through and things and that. How long ago was that? How long ago was that made?
Man, I made that reel / pilot back in like 2010.
Wow, you've been in the game that long.
Before that, I was filming that. It took me like 3 years to film that little pilot. So really before that.
Wow, dang. So you said so this is something that you've been doing, just growing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been at it for a minute. I'm actually from Dallas, Texas, and I moved out to California, lived out here my whole adult life, and just been doing it like that ever since. And I was growing out there, obviously illegal because the whole market came from an illegal standpoint. And then I moved to the West Coast and started growing in SoCal. And then I met a homeboy of mine who told me about up north. And I moved up north and did my first big op and then bought my first property at like 23 and then been doing it ever since.
Damn, 23. Well, can I ask you how old you are now, if you don't mind?
35. 35.
Yeah.
About to be 36 in April 16th.
Okay. Oh, that's your birthday, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's up. April 27th. Okay, April baby.
Okay, all right.
April is when everything starts blooming, you know.
Aries in the house. Aries in the house. Horns up.
Know. It's a great month already. That's what's up. That's what's up. So can you tell me the difference between like when you were growing illegally to now that it's legal? What is like with the Kush Rush reel, like I saw there's so many things that like you guys had to go through just like in terms of, you know, keeping yourself safe, you know, making sure people aren't coming and robbing you and stuff like that. And you were growing outdoors.
Yeah.
So how is that like when you okay, so I know I asked a few questions. How is it growing outdoors back then than it is now?
Back then you had to hide under the trees a little bit. Like back then they had helicopter budget and code enforcement and shit like that, but they really weren't enforcing too hard because it was a new thing popping off. I mean, cannabis culture has been going on for decades in California, but up north, I mean, I don't think they really had the budget to fly around and look at you. So we had to like hide under the trees, a lot of stuff. We slowly started integrating and moving outside. I mean, we always had greenhouses and indoor ops, but really like the outdoor crops, if you know what you're doing, that the sun can trump all. Like the sun trumps all. If you know how to do it right and you got a green thumb and you've got agriculture skills and secrets up under your belt, horticulture, you can really produce something really special that most people would think was indoor. It's just that fucking fire. And we just had to hide it and do the best we can. And you get up north, you know, they've given you a script years ago. It was medical, and it still is,
Yeah.
and it's commercial, so it's like a yin and a yang. But you know, they gave you a 99 script, and you could do what you want with that. Now, they never really knew, I think, how big these plants get. Like, I've grown 10,
Oh my,
1,200
yo,
plants.
your plants are huge. I've never seen anything that big. Like, they were
Yeah,
taller than you.
they get massive, 15 feet. I mean, they're rotund. They some thick bitches.
Go ladies.
Yeah.
That's what's
But
up.
they produce a lot, you know, and then like the market, I feel as though just a lot of people just started getting in. I think people started traveling and really meeting the main man, the honchos of the game. And, you know, the inner city plugs would travel and come out and meet the outlet, the power strip, and start to plug in. And, you know, and then from there, it's just a mecca of swirling going on. And, I mean, I remember the golden years of when the money was just so good and the packs were so great, and like people were appreciative of what you brought. Now it's like people don't smoke weed anymore; they smoke packaging.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, they don't smoke
sad.
weed.
That's
Yeah,
sad. That's sad to me because I know if I'm smoking something, I want it to be good. I mean, I need fire. I want you to grow
it
fire.
gotta be.
You
It
know,
gotta be. I mean, like, you know, everything converts into packaging, but what's in it gotta be fire. It
thank
gotta be
you.
that dank.
Thank you. Come on. It's not, and
Yeah,
the packaging is pretty. Don't get me wrong. Like it does help sell. But however, if that shit's not fire inside, then I'm gonna talk about you.
yeah,
I'm not gonna tell somebody to go get it and be like, you might want to stay away from that. You about to waste your money. And that's not what you want.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of people spend their money on packaging and sell like okay indoor. Or they, you know, what's funny is the decent packaging, like the okay packaging, usually has the best weed because the company didn't spend a shit ton of money to get you to buy that crazy packaging. They spent all their money in the manicure job, the flush, the grow of it all. I mean, I'll be honest, like I've been in this for a long time. I don't even spend as much money as I can on my packaging. For what? You're going to throw it away or probably cut it up and smoke it nowadays because that's what people want. But like the bud speaks for itself. The product speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? You can have something really, really organic and real clever and creative as packaging wise, but it doesn't have to be a diamond casing. Like that shit's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You end up throwing it out anywhere. You're going to put it on your shelf for memorabilia, but people put a lot on it. It's a lot of sauce on it.
Yeah, but I don't think I have to do it because I mean honestly, people are still buying, you know, from the dope boys, trap boys. So let's be honest, people still buying on the street, so they're not worried about the packaging. You know, at this point, they're like,
I think, yeah,
what's it smell like? What's it look like? You know,
yeah,
can I see it? Can you know that's what they're they're terpenes and stuff. That's what they're after. You know,
terpenes, definitely.
and they're like, what's the THC percentage? You know, that's what people want to know. So I don't
But you
know.
want to know the terpene profile because that's what shapes your high, you know. I think people go like, oh, I want the highest of the highest. Like, you might as well go get some crack then if that's the case. Like, you're not really smoking to medicate. You're smoking just to get stupid blitz. You don't even care what it does. It's like, who are you? What kind of consumer are you? And like, you really should look for the terpenes that really shape that high,
Yeah.
you know. Especially know the strain that you want. You know, the problem is there's so much hybridization going on that we don't even have like the true strains anymore of the game. The land races, they're all getting blown out and hybrided so hard.
Yeah.
Like I had some shit the other day, like everybody call it Zaza exotic, what really is just hybrid. Okay, let's just call it what it is. It's hybrid weed. Somebody's designer had sex with another designer and they pollinated and had some designer weed. It's getting so hybrided out that you can't even really taste it. It just tastes like mush. Like if you took a bunch of fruits and bullshit and a bunch of other candy and threw it all in a bowl and mixed it all together, it's just like you can't really tell what's what. And the game is just getting mudded out, man. There's a lot of people in it now.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that too? Because I mean, I've been seeing, nothing against the rappers. I see a lot of rappers coming in and stuff like that. Which is cool because, some of them, let's be real, like yourself, like you've been in the game for a long time. Some of them have too. And my thing is that, for me, if you are a rapper and you've been in the game a long time, do you know the difference? Do you know what you're doing? Or are you just, I just want to put my name on something, have somebody else grow for me, and then sell it. You know,
I'm
for me,
glad
I
you said that.
feel like that's a cop out.
I'm glad you said that. You feel the same way as I do. I mean, there's only a handful of rappers I could vouch for that actually have their hand in the game in the right way, like either a Burner, a Be Real, Cypress Hill, Snoop, like Wiz, and really right in that little niche realm right there. Those rappers slash want to be growers but consumers, but have backpacked on the growers. That little group right there is really the only one that I could vouch for. Everybody else is just a consumer smoker rapper where they smoked a lot, maybe they bought a lot, maybe they sold a lot, but they never grew a lot.
Yeah.
They didn't know about botany. They didn't know about that. So nowadays, a lot of these rappers, they're just white labeling. They'll come to a guy like me and they'll be like, yo, can you make this strain for me? Can you take your flower and put my name on it? It's branding and marketing, because the consumer thinks, oh, well, I like so-and-so. He must know good weed. I'm going to buy his shit even though he ain't grown a lick in his life.
That's an insult to the growers. It's like, I mean, I personally just got into the growing game myself because I've always wanted to be in it anyway. So now I'm really seeing the hands-on. Like, it's hands-on. There's a lot going into it. And your bitch, come on, I'm there. I see it. I'm like,
say it again.
It's a lot that goes into it, okay? A little bit. And there's more that I'm still learning about it. And as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the ladies and how they're growing, I mean, you literally have to go in there and take the dead leaves off them every day. You got to make sure they're watered properly. You got to give them love. You got to talk to them. You got to sing to them.
High maintenance.
Come on, the bitches is high maintenance. Good for you, ladies. Okay, and I get it. But there's so much more that goes into it. And a lot of people are like, you know, I just want to put my name on it. I'm like, that's a cop out. Like, grow it. Yeah. Like, it's so much more it's so much more gratifying and beneficial for a person to go in there and learn actually how to put your hands in it. Get dirty, you know, transplant a couple of plants, see how that goes. Water them, you know, you might have to put some pH up in or pH down in the water. You know, there's certain things, know the temperature, all that stuff. There's so much that goes into it. And like for the last like 2-3 months, that's what I've been doing. And I'm like, whoa, which I've always wanted to do. I got a green thumb naturally, but this shit is real. It's real. So if somebody wants to come in and put a name on something I grew, I don't know.
A lot of them are doing that. I mean, the legalization allowed rappers to be comfortable enough to jump in. Some people are so scared they wouldn't have jumped in. Like, to me, if you wanted to be dominant or have a loyal fan base or clientele, you had to have been in it when there was risk. Yeah. There ain't no risk anymore. Now it's like the cops look the other way. Shit, cops even work for me sometimes because their job don't pay enough. Like, they'll drive for me. Like, real spit. A lot of times, you know, even in the rap game, people write somebody's lyrics for them and you never knew the ghostwriter. It's kind of like that. But at the same time, rappers want to look like the man. A lot of them rappers ain't the man in the street. Maybe with the mic and the pen they are, but it's hard to balance being a guy in the street and having that spit with the pen at the same time. So I think there's really only a handful of rappers that really got it going on. And a lot of them try to monopolize and have their own thing going and pay like, you know, Jungle Boys or somebody like KGB or Ben Familiar or anybody to create their prototype so they can go to market and then get other growers to work for them. And you're right, like, it is a cop-out, but it's a business. Like, music is just a catalyst. And cannabis is the product that goes hand in hand with the music. Right. I did an album called Cannabusiness in 2014.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I was in Atlanta. Man, I was coming with all that Cannabusiness, GanjaPreneur. I was spitting that lit everywhere I went. Everybody, a lot of people, I was losing people. People were like, what?
I was about to say, when I was listening to your songs, because, you know, I went back and I was listening to and I liked your cover too. When I was listening, I was like, yo, this dude is spitting knowledge about cannabis. Like, if you hear him, he's talking about the terpenes. He's talking about, hey, I had to go here and do this, and then something or the deal went bad or something, like, you know, like, it was so much information in your album. I was like, and when did he make this?
Yeah, you know, and so a lot of people be like, yo, I didn't get it. Or like, some people would get it, but it was like over their head. Now people hit me up in Atlanta years later like, yo, you were the one on that shit before everybody. yo, when you hit radio on Hot 107, like, I knew what it was about, but I didn't know what it was about, because the culture in a lot of these streets is just trapping. It's just selling drugs. That's all it is. And cannabis is kind of like that, the good boy that fell into the bad guy crowd. It's like it shouldn't be a Schedule I drug. It's just a herb. And so I was dropping knowledge on people on how to get in this and that and start, and don't wait for the government to tell you that you can grow this God-given right of a plant. You should be allowed to grow this. I mean, you know about the cannabinoid receptors in our head. We're connected to this plant. You know, the first plant came from the dog star. Like, it's an alien plant. It's crazy. And so I've always promoted and tried to get people to get on the level of the cannabis business. It is a pyramid. There's a brick at the top and there's bricks at the bottom. There's all types of jobs. A lot of people say, well, where do I fit in? Just jump in and see where you fit in. You'll get good. You don't have to be a grower. You could be a trimmer. You could be a packager. You could be an extractor. You could be so many things. You could be a yellow leafer. You know what I mean? Like something small to big. But that's what the game's all about, from demonized to legalized cannabis business by Ben Familiar. That's the whole album. And I think now people are catching on to it because it's like a cult classic now. It's not like, you know, it smacked people in the face and they're like, whoa, what was that? Because honestly, like, you know, as Aries, we're just so far ahead of the curve that we got to wait for people to catch up. And that's just what it is.
God, yeah, that album was definitely before its time. Definitely.
Thank you. Rhythm D did that album. Eazy-E's producer, who did Compton City G's for Eazy-E, he did that whole album for me.
Yeah, I like that album too, because it had like all different types of, you know, it was like all different sound. Like you sound like Bone Crusher at one time, you know, he was on there.
Yeah.
You said, you know, you took it here and there, and I was like, well, dang, that's what's up, you know. So it had a couple different sounds on there, and I liked it. It was very universal, as we say, and very.
I try to come with different styles. Like my style is more chameleon. Like you might listen to one track, it sounds completely different than the other, because I feel like rappers get monotonous. Like, yes, it's a brand of consistency, but I feel as though everybody gets tired of the dollar burger now and then. You know what I mean? They want something new. They want something different. When you go to a restaurant, you're not going to order the same thing every time. Yeah. And it's all about the diet. What are we smoking? What are we eating? What are we consuming as listeners? This shit get boring after a while. So you really got to switch it up to keep consumers engaged all the time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's, he said, Smokey said, Ben, how much for an autograph? That's what's up.
I can't even read these comments. Oh, here you go.
Can you
I ain't even read them yet. How much for an autograph? I don't know. Buy a membership and you could get an autograph. Yeah, it's only $100 a month.
Let's talk about that too. So you have to be a member, okay, to get some that good Ben Familiar.
So what I started doing was I used to sell to the pharmacies all the time. Dispensaries couldn't get enough product. Now the government tries to make it so obnoxious to get your brand out that I found my niche in selling to celebrities and doing batches for people who want specific strains, or they want their own clones, or they do want their own strain and want to put their own name on it, and I design it for them. So, I mean, that's kind of like the same thing, like Carrera glasses, they make Gucci and all these other frames, but you would never know that. So when you sign up for my membership, that basically gives you access to somebody who knows what they're doing with growing, knows about packaging, marketing, the product itself. Me and one of my homeboys, we compete our genetics. KGB, y'all go follow him. Celebration of Life, best hybrid of 2019, won the trophy. We out of like different stuff. If you purchase $100, you get a level of this. If you have this, you're in the club. If you don't have this, you ain't talking to me. So when people are like, yeah, I know Ben Familiar. I know Ben Familiar. No, you don't. Because if you don't have that, you really don't have the connection like that. And you're not going to go bootleg that either. There's levels of it too. There's another one. So it's all about what level you want to be on. And a lot of times I grow in bulk. You can't buy bulk from the pharmacy. You can only buy retail at expensive rates, like 60, 88, crazy ass numbers. I don't smash my clients over the head like that because we make everything in-house. No, I don't have to be the Walmart of weed. I do not have to be. I could be the Willy Wonka of weed. You don't ever see me I have Oompa Loompas in my factory. We mixed our fucking shit by waterfall. You feel me?
That's what's up. So how's
But I
that?
mean, we have everything. We have everything that anybody would ever want. I have these gold hash bricks.
Ooh.
It's called Pablo's Lost Cargos. You know, we have extracts. We have the whole nine. We got everything. We got the vapes. Like
Ooh.
it's nothing. We got the diamonds, peach Bellini, you know,
Oh.
whatever you want. Like, but what we do what everybody else wants, but what I'll try to make is the stuff that stays ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of peoples will call me, you know, they sell the big rappers like, man, I want that rapper weed. Rapper weed only means indoor weed. I hate that fucking term, rapper weed. It
Exactly.
just means quality weed that rappers want that most people can't get. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like these spins that people put on this shit. It's like let's stop capping and let's stop zagging and let's stop putting so much sauce on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the endo. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And so I try to make the stuff that everybody's gonna want next year or 2 years into the future.
That's what's
I
up.
remember I was making certain cannabis. And I was like, yo, try this, and everybody keep asking me like, yo, you know, we should get this, we should get it. I'm like, you want to get the newest of the new, try what you don't know so you could turn everybody else onto it. That's how you stay ahead of the game.
You
Taking
said
a
you
chance,
come.
taking a risk.
You said you come to town when?
I come April 16th. So
Okay.
if you want to link up, you can get some new stuff.
You already
Um,
know.
you already know. When I was out in Atlanta, when I did a album release, I did the first dab bar. Ain't nobody was dabbing people up locally,
Yo,
publicly.
I dabbed for the first time back then too, and I
Yeah.
didn't know what it was. And it was one of my boys was going back and forth from Cali to Atlanta. He was like, "Try this, man." I passed out. I was like, what the hell is what the hell is dabbing? I was like,
Extract.
"Yo, this shit is strong. If you ain't ready, you not ready. Okay? If you a lightweight, don't be dabbing. That's all I can say. Microdose
I think,
yourself."
yeah, exactly. I think people overdose. Like, you know, people are like, oh, weed makes me paranoid. That's because you smoke too much of the sativa. Sativa dominant, you only need like two little toots and you zooted.
Yeah.
You're gone. But some people think they got to chalk that whole J down. Nah, man, just hit a little bit. You know, like you don't go to the medicine cabinet and pop the bottle and just down it because there's directions on it.
Yeah,
A
right.
lot of people, yeah, a lot of people don't know. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a tough guy. I can smoke all that, no big deal. Like, I think macho smokers is what messes up the game, where people like think they got to do a lot and impress a lot of people. Just medicate for your own ailments. You know what I'm saying? I myself have benign positional vertigo, so I'm a patient. I'm not somebody. I would do this if there was no money involved. Like, it helps
Yeah,
people at the end of the day. It just
absolutely.
happens to be a cash crowd.
Yeah, well, my mom definitely is a consumer and it's always been out, but this, like right now, really does help her. She's been through a couple strokes and her own brain tumor and all this stuff, and she's still, and then
Oh
she's
man.
she'd be like, just send me some plants. That's all I want you to do. I was
It's
like,
gonna be some
well,
time.
mother,
It's gonna be some
right?
time.
Well, mom.